Yes.
Gonna be down.
Yeah, on with the husbands. Everybody who left, call them up and tell them to come back because it's about to get real. It's about to get really, really real. We got the wives in here with us. Give it up for the wives.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Man, you were a lot more excited when...
I said, yeah, honey.
No, when the other chick was here, you was real excited.
No. Don't even do that. We know how. Don't
Yeah,
even
this is
do
about to be fun. Oh man. Anyway, let me get back into this. We can get into our Real Talk segment, which is brought to you by Reborn Apparel, featuring Reborn Kings and Reborn Queens wear. Do you want to rep your faith with style and grace? Well, go to RebornKings.com and check out their full selection of chic and seasonal gear. And if you purchase anything using the code RHOL, you'll get 20% off your next purchase. Just visit www.rebornkings.com and make your purchase right after the show. Now let's do this. Let's do this real talk. I don't know how much time we got left. You give me some idea how much time we got left. But anyway, has your honey become less than a hottie? What do you do when the attraction is gone? Joining us in the studio, of course, are our wives. We have Ms. Pike. Is it okay for me to give you your full name?
Please.
Okay, this is Randy's wife, Alexis. Randy, you want to introduce your wife?
This is my beautiful wife of a great 14 years of love.
Wow, 14 whole years.
And I just want to say, honey, on air that I love you.
Wow.
You're not looking at me.
I'm
Oh!
about
The look
sucks, dude.
of love
And that-
is somewhere
William?
else.
And I just want to let you know that I do.
All
I love
right.
you too, boo.
All right. Yes. Oh, you need to dig into him today.
Yes.
And of course, I got my wife. Y'all seen her before because she's a star. She's been seen everywhere. Yeah, this is my wife. I'm gonna call her JJ because I don't want nobody trying to find her on Facebook and slide into the
Well,
DMs.
Let me delete that last comment.
Oh man.
Don't mind the last tag I just put, guys.
Oh wow! But welcome, ladies. Welcome. Of course, you heard our letter and you heard our social media question, and of course, we're talking about keeping the passion, keeping the fire. But what do you do when it's gone and the attraction is gone? And I just wanted to kind of hear from you. You know, have you? But first, what do you think about your husband's choices? You know, your husband's choice about who can still get it. How did that make you feel to hear that your husband is sort of looking at Felicia Rashad like a meal? He's ready to tear her up. How does that feel?
Wait, dude, you killed this guy.
We both actually talk about how fly Claire still is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So who do you think can still get it?
Wow.
He was like,
Well,
Go ahead.
Say it.
Represent.
Do it.
a gentleman by the name of Will Downing.
Will Downing?
Will
Yeah.
down and do it.
Not even on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Voice.
Really? Is that's not one in a million, is it?
No, it's not.
Who does he sing?
He sings a million ways to please a woman.
Oh wow! Did your husband sing to you?
Not really.
Fortunate. Oh man, of course I didn't put one out there. We didn't have a chance to. We dropped off for a second, but
He's not American.
I actually did do one.
Well, let's hear it, bro.
This particular lady right here, my wife's watching right here beside me. I'm not secure. This particular lady has been through some things, come out on the other side shining. 6 children, 14 years of marriage.
Oh,
And he's
bro.
not in the thread.
My girl can still get it.
In the thread.
You gonna tell what's in the thread?
I am America.
Come on.
And that's what he does to it. He lies.
Oh man.
We all quick to be like, I would say this.
Oh man. But talk to me. Like let's just I wanna this
You had a picture of him? Are you
It's
serious?
been like this forever.
You said
You got
I've
a
been like
picture
what
of him?
forever, Alexis? What you
Always
mean?
setting us up. Man.
Oh.
Always.
Because you really did say
man.
Will Down on national radio.
I know.
You did.
But he really said Felicia Rashad. Her picture was in the ratings.
I'll be fair. I'll be
saw it.
fair and give my wife a chance to say, honestly, who she thinks is still get it. Go ahead, babe. Let's move on. Have you
Yes, for the best.
really?
Oh! My man ain't know. My man ain't know.
Ain't no what was happening in the house.
All right. That's good, man.
Hey, now so get that answer.
Well, since we being real, let me be real. It's like, nah, leave no room for instigation. Moving on. But look, I want this to be I want this to be like an open conversation. Of course, I do have these questions directed to the wives, but just feel free to chime in, because my goal in this is to, as we talked about before, some of the people commented, today people look at marriage and I don't think they look at it from every angle. I don't think they look at it knowing that you're going to go through times where things aren't as great as they can be. So I just want to be honest about, where we are, where we've been, and how we've come to where we are now. But this is an open question, but especially for the wives, do you find yourself coming to a place where you struggle with not necessarily, maybe being attracted to your spouse, or deal with life getting in your relationship and sort of making it hard for you to respond in the same way that you used to? I mean, what do you think? Talk freely. It's open.
You want to go?
I'm gonna let my girl speak first.
Go ahead, Jaquata.
Okay. Well, so for me, in those moments,
Those
I
moments.
think
You
that-
mean you have those moments?
yeah, I've had those moments.
Oh, bro.
No, speak freely. It's open. Speak freely.
I think a lot of it just depends on what it is. If it's something, say, like physical attraction, then I try to I'll suggest it or say something to you about it, or suggest that we go and do something together physical to.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Take that man on walks. Take him on walks.
Wait a minute.
Look at his mic. Oh, wow.
She ain't complained about the mic.
Oh, really?
Now, if it's something that is, I don't know, there are times when I think it's just like an emotional feeling that I might be having, then I kind of do the whole pros and con thing, and usually the pros outweigh the cons.
Usually, so sometimes the cons outweigh the pros.
No, but I think a lot of it is mental, out of a frustrated moment that I might be having.
What do you say about that, Lex? What do you think?
Well,
Please, God, please.
Stacey, I need you to ask those questions step by step for me.
Okay.
Please.
Now listen, for the sake of everybody watching, just be honest.
Okay.
Do you? And I'm just asking this question. It's sort of rhetorical, because I think that we all go through it, right? Mm-hmm. But do you find yourself coming to times where you are facing being, or the attraction that you have for or the passion towards your husband maybe wanes? You don't feel like you did initially. Do you find out that you have those times, and how do you deal with it when you have those times?
The answer is yes.
Ooh, bam.
And Randy is well aware of this.
Oh.
And he's aware of this because of my communication to him.
So you tell him.
Yes.
Like what kinds of things? I mean, not you don't have to tell in detail, but I mean,
Hypothetically.
how blunt or real are you being?
Well, let's just let Randy's face tell it. How blunt am I, Randy?
To the DAMN.
Oh man.
To the point.
Oh,
Now what about? Go ahead. I want
But
to.
I do say it lovingly. There's times where I really have to
Get your S together.
I don't say that.
I'm tired of your D mouth.
You say that to? Oh my God! I was going to say, wow.
No,
Wow.
I really try to consider him the person he is. I always tell him there's a class I took probably in our first or second year marriage called The Excellent Wife. And they had us do this activity where they did a paper man, just a paper man. And they said, take that man and just start cutting him up, cut him into pieces. And they said, that's what you do to your husband anytime you just say anything negative to him that could just tear him down
Y'all watching, ladies?
without thinking about what it could do to him.
Wow.
So that stuck with me. So he knows, or I try to remind him when I do say something to him that could be hurtful. That it's all coming from a good place.
I don't want you to go past that because
Okay.
did they have him cut up a woman?
No, he was not in that class. This was just for
did you
wives.
ever have to do that?
No.
There's a specific reason I asked that because I think women have a tendency to do that. Like I think that like women just say things.
Ooh.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Because of how women think their makeup, that they tend more to just like if they're dealing with a man, they just say it, right? If I'm not feeling as attracted to my wife, I ain't going to her first. Personally, I say first thing first, let me deal with what's really going on in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that I wouldn't want to cut her up and I wouldn't want to tear her down. And not that there aren't men who do that. I'm not saying that at all. But I just think that in my experience, and when I say my experience in my own household, my family growing up, like women easily, the women in my life easily just say, boom, they just put it out there, and
apologize later.
No, they don't apologize.
No, I wasn't agreeing with Stacey.
I'm not necessarily talking about my wife. I'm not.
No, we know. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like.
I'm not even gonna respond.
Get up and walk! Get up and walk, fatty! Get up now!
Oh, wow.
Get up, tubby, now!
Oh, wow.
Oh man, no. But I don't know. I think that I don't know. Like, let me ask you this: do you think that your husband, and do you think this about me, that that he's tough enough to hear certain things bluntly?
No.
What do you think?
He has not always been, but he has had to become tough.
Yes.
Because I have gotten to the point where it has gotten to that point where there's need to have, conversations where he's had to be tough enough.
Now let me switch it to the other foot. Do you find yourself, and I see you have a question. Do you switch it to the other side? Do you have those times, right? This is rhetorical because I believe that every couple, especially you've been married long enough, you go through certain things.
Why you got that look?
Have you gone through this, and how do you deal with it when you go through it? If you go through it.
Going through it, not being attracted?
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily, because this doesn't necessarily mean physically, but just attracted, and even if it is physical, but just having that passion towards your spouse. Have you found that ever to sort of wane or die down? And how do you deal with it if it has ever happened?
Well, physically, I've never had that for me, and I can only and I think that speaks to us when we get down. I would say that for me, it's just all about just being in a comfortable space to communicate that. And I think the way we communicate lends to us being able to be honest with how we're feeling at the particular time. Now, am I 100% there with how I communicate in the heat of the moment? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think there are times more than not where I can be honest in how I'm feeling to a point where we're both heard and we both know where we're coming from. And I know that I know for us, we don't let stuff linger too long, So I guess to answer your question, I do feel like the space is safe enough for me to do so. So yeah. Yep.
I see a comment by, I believe this is Lauren, and my eyes are kind of teared up right now. I'm hurt. I'm just kidding. She said, yes, as women, we are to build up our men, not tear them down. But Will, you had a question a few seconds ago.
Give me that mic, Randy.
Yeah, swing it.
Swing it. So, when you speak to your husbands, I have two questions. One, what do single people need to know? Single women need to know about being in a long-lasting relationship. The other question is, when you're speaking to your husband, is your goal to be heard first, or is your goal to be understood? So, because a lot of women will say, you're not listening, or they don't like the way the way Randy's listening, the way Stacy's listening, because he's not listening the way you think he ought to.
Let him answer, Will. Don't give him too much.
Okay, so
Let him answer.
First question.
Let's see what they say. Let's see what they say.
Question: what do I think that they should know? I think for me, and this could be because of what I've seen in my parents' marriage growing up, is that I would never try to do anything to embarrass Stacy as my husband or make him
You just did. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
or make him look bad. So I'm consciously mindful of that. So that's one advice that I would give. I know, because a lot of people get on social media and they talk bad about their spouse or significant other and just put it all out there, but I don't think that that's a wise thing to do, because you open up opportunities for other people to slide in and disrupt.
That's true. I think people expose too much about themselves. You don't want everybody in your business like that, especially in a moment. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a moment, because
I'm sorry. George Shrug says they need to be heard. Them chicks need to learn.
Oh, wow.
Wow. George Shrug's a wild boy.
Wow. But I was saying, next time wait till I'm finished to read the comment.
Wow.
People put a lot out there. You expose yourself, especially in a moment. You know, even when you're talking about attraction. Look, stuff don't stay the same. You know what I'm saying? Things don't stay the same. You can't expect things to stay the same.
It better not.
I mean,
it ain't real.
I mean, unless you're getting worked, you can work out as hard as you want.
Whoa.
Your body is going to start to change. It's going to happen, and then things just, you as a person, you evolve a little bit, and so, you know, and then stresses in life, and so you may have times when you're less attracted, and it doesn't have much to do with the other person. It's got to do with you. You know what I mean? Because look, I ain't gonna put that out there.
Hey.
I just say, I just say this.
Go ahead.
There are things about my wife that have changed that I appreciate, because what caused that change. You know what I'm saying? My wife is different in some ways because she had kids. I love it because she had my kids. You know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate it because I did like that is a part of you that's because of me. You know what I'm saying? And it means maybe I'm just funny that way, but like. Our bodies are a canvas of our life together.
Look at that.
And I appreciate that. And so my attraction evolves. And so I think that, you know, you asked the question, like, what should single people know? Know that the way she look now, like I heard an older guy say this, hey, you like the way she look? Take a picture. Because it's going to change. Like, I've heard that, right? And so you can expect that there will be changes. You know, he ain't, like Chili was saying, I want a man with a six-pack. At 47, the numbers start dwindling real thin. Who still got a six-pack? At 37, I'm just saying, like, stuff starts to change. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you should expect
But the
that.
second part of that, though, do women want to be understood or do they want to be heard? Can we please get the answer to that for all these women? Represent. Come on.
What does that really mean? That's what your face looks like.
That's what I think too. And why you can't have both?
I was going to say both.
You want to be heard and understood.
But what do you mean when you ask that? What's behind that? Like, are they just talking idly in your mind? Just
go ahead.
Are they just going? Yes, that's what that means.
What you
Okay.
saying?
Is that what they mean? You tried to trap them?
No, because a lot of times, you know, you're as a man. A lot of men, right? A lot of men, when you're talking to them, they don't say nothing because they're trying to understand the problem / fix it, right?
That's the wrong thing right there.
Okay. And so that's really, I'm hearing you, right?
Right.
Because you have, you have a list, you have something that's going on, and we're trying to fix the problem, right? Or is it more important to understand the emotion behind what you're actually saying? And so in communicating, is the problem solving is the key, or just connecting with you emotionally?
That's a great question.
It is.
And it's really fair in that dialogue to even say, okay, I need you to tell me when you're coming to me right now, to your significant other or whomever, is this you need me to listen to fix, or you need me to listen to hear your heart or something like that, and then you'll know the difference.
I think there's.
Why are you patronizing me?
I love you, Will.
No.
Wait,
He's making a statement.
No, I'm making a
Listen, you watch the
statement on
show. If you watch the show, William is a special person that you have to learn
Yes.
to understand.
Yes, I've known him forever.
So look, so
We're role playing now.
right.
Oh
Why
my
are you
God.
patronizing me?
You know what I'm saying? I'll get that type of response. Like with what you
You ain't no
exactly
mic, bro.
said, right?
With what you
Lord.
exactly said. Do you want me to fix the problem? Are you listening? Are we talking for me to connect with you on your emotions?
I don't know that we got enough time to actually dig into that lesson. But what I will say is this: I think she even has to know herself well enough, because that's an assumption there that person has the capacity to even determine, do I need to be heard?
And she don't.
Like, why am I? I think a lot of people, period, don't know themselves that well.
Right.
And you need help to do that. That's why therapy is important. But listen, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight on WHUR.com and at Real Husband
Thanks for
Blog on
coming
Facebook.
back.
Thank you. We dropped off for a second. Thank you. Also to our YouTube audience. This conversation is something that's got to keep on going. It's bigger than this time frame. But if I had any thoughts to leave you guys with is, listen, it's a marathon. You know what I mean? And things change, feelings change. Just keep your decision the same, and that's to love and be together. Hey, thank you for tuning in. These husbands, we love that.
I'm not even looking at a camera.